Welcome, all respected friends. By now, we must be clear as to what Upanishads are conveying as the goal and means. We also must have got the clarity regarding where do we stand in our being qualified for the recognition of the truth. And also, therefore, we must be convinced now that from the scratch we have to start our journey. In scratch means the getting prepared with the sadhana chatushtaya sampada. No doubt should be there regarding this. Never ever we should take ourselves for granted. It is a continuous saga from within, without. What time, what sort of obstacle will fall on us to derail us from the path? We can never be sure of. Therefore, we have to assure ourselves to be absolutely alert by ourselves so that any such thing comes, we are ready to counter and keep on being on the path. Being on the path, putting small little steps at least, is the key for success. Going away from the path or being on the path but not putting efforts, both of them are not helpful for our progress at all. So the being on path is equal to our regular study. With so much regular study, also when the truth has not entered into our heart convincingly, if we give up this only way and source, what is the other way? Even God, when we worship Him, His blessings are in this way only by giving us the opportunity to be regularly in the study of Shastra. So, Bhagavan also has done what he can do, that giving us this chance. Now, we have to be very conscious, careful, should have that intelligence, common sense to know that this is God's grace. Using this opportunity itself is using the grace of the God. Thus, being in the satsanga daily, doing mananam daily, being in touch with the truth and its understanding daily is the meaning of being on the path. As we move ahead, as the knowledge about the self becomes stronger and convincing, and accordingly, the other than the self, say the Panchakoshas and Deha Adi or the Jiva Bhava, when they are convinced to be the not self, this should happen in our life. Then slowly, this not self is rejected on the seat of dhyana through the Vyatireka, and the Anvaya of I am the self also is to be done. When we do it for long time, slowly the Anatma say, the Atma Tadatmya that goes away. Then with the Atma Vastu, the first glimpse of I am that it comes. Only for a split moment. It goes away again. Again we have to try for it. This time it won't take those many attempts or time for the revelation, little less. But again it goes away. Like that, seeking the touching of the self and getting rid of the not self continuously when we go on doing, then the frequency of touching the self becomes more. Accordingly, the not self is understood to be not self. The involvement in that also gets reduced. When this goes on for a very long period of time, then we just establish that we are the self. We are only the witness to all the not self, or it is projected on us for some vyavahara. It has no truth value or reality value for me to give any importance and for me to get bound by it. Still, we continue to live at the Deha level, but not bound by it. This is how the Adhyatmika Avagahana, understanding, sadhana, the practice, anubhuti is experience, and then the sthiti in that the establishment will have to happen. More clear than this, may we, by God's Guru's grace, understand the entire thing, and with commitment, may we truly start doing the sadhana, knowing that I am sadhaka, knowing that the Paramatma is sadhyavastu, knowing that this is to be sadhana. Let there be no vagueness or ambiguity or suspicion or doubt regarding anything in our spiritual sadhana. May the Divine Lord, Shruti Mata, all the Guru Parampara bless us at this very moment with this vision. Now let us start like every day, today too, our whole day spending through the study of Shastra in trying to remind ourselves of the divine and divine goal. Mantrocharana, Taittiriya with Shankara Bhashyam, Yoga Darshanam with Vyasa Bhashyam, Mundaka with Shankara Bhashyam, Bhagavad Gita. Then Bhagavatam, Dwadasha Skandham, Sri Markandeji's Maya Darshanam today we will see. Then the Dashama Skandham, Sri Krishna going to Dwaraka, getting married to 16,000, and in every house living so beautifully. Then in Adhyatma Ramayana, the Sena starts moving, they reach up to the ocean. So these are our topics today. In the Andasha Mahavidyas, the last one today, we will be chanting. Tomorrow onwards, Nama Durga. So thus whole day, we are doing what we are supposed to do the best. Doing is best only, but are we doing the best in the best manner is our next question. So the best thing we are doing, but that should be done in as better and best manner as possible. And includes our mental preparation, bringing our antakarana to the ekagra bhumi, and then with fondness, with love, with the zest and zeal that the goal we are going to reach through this sadhana is the highest, with the self motivation, inner inspiration, and with full attentiveness and application, we have to involve in all the sadhanas. There is no way, and why should we look for any other way? Let us give our best to get the best. Let us start. ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगं रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगं रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगं रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषये भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसच्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि। ॐ परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यासवैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। तेषां सर्वेषां गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातु अनुग्रहेण अस्य उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्ति द्वारा आध्यात्मिकप्रगतिद्वारा विश्वस्य शान्तिकल्याणेकता प्राप्त्यर्थम् अस्मिन् कर्मणि निश्चितसमस्तभक्तसाधकानां नित्यनिरन्तर दिग्विजयप्राप्त्यर्थं तेषां विजयार्थम् आयुरारोग्यक्षेमस्थैर्य श्रद्धाभक्तादि समस्त सत्संपदा सत्साधना सानुकूल्यता सत्शक्तीनाम् अवाप्त्यर्थं श्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तरीय उपनिषदः श्री शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं पारायणं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं। तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरचयिनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावेत तद्वक्तारमावेद आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ नवमोऽनुवाकः। ॐ यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनन्दं ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न बिभेति कुतश्च नेति एतगं हवावन तपदे किमहं साधुना करवं किमहं पापमकरवमिति स य एवं विद्वानेते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते उभे ह्येवैष एते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्। यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनन्दं ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न बिभेति कुतश्च नेति एतगं हवावन तपते किमहं साधुना करवं किमहं पापमकरवमिति स य एवं विद्वानेते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते उभे ह्येवैष एते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Friends, after seeing the Tanvaka exhaustively of the three topics of the existence of Brahman proved through Bhishasmadvataha, then the Brahma Ananda Mimamsa Visa, then Brahma Ananda Utkurshtata Visa, the sadhana for the Brahma Prapti also we have seen. When then Brahmanubhuti comes, how we discover our oneness with that substratum which supports both Vyashti and Samashti. That also we saw. Finally, such Atma Gnani, Siddha Murusha, how he lives at the samashti level through etamannamayam ityadi. That also we have seen. Now in this ninth last anuvaka, the summary gist of the entire this Brahmananda Valli topic is given to us. That is how this one. So the mantra meaning we have seen, the literal meaning, word to word meaning. Then through the bhashya we were trying to understand. So yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. So Bhagavan Adi Shankara's bhashya making it very very clear this first sentence. So now somebody asked yesterday why taken to so much about the Vak means what? Ki the Brahman is Anubhuta Vastu. Please remember, it is not an outer object that can be pursued through any of the faculties. Then, with faculties, the Anatma alone can be known, not the Atma Vastu. Therefore, in our insistence to know the Brahman through any of the Upadhi, we will never know the Brahman. On the other hand, something which is deluded or projected on the Brahman, as we are seeing the world now, that only we will end up in seeing. Therefore, we have to depend only on the deep inner more meditational poise, after which we reach to the core of the heart and experience that Satyam Jnanam Ananta Brahma as ourself. There we have to reach. There alone is moksha. There is never ever moksha. Even at the intellectual conviction level, then how can there be moksha? Only vocally when we just chant a mantra or read the meaning or talk about Brahman in a very eloquent manner to make us understand this Brahma is Anubhavagamya, and only after Anubhava Brahma the moksha comes, and there is no other condition where moksha can come. To bring this to our notice, and Manavani Ityadi Upadhis are only for us to give the world perception, not the Brahman. Therefore, don't trust the Upadhis nor try to see the self as the Upadhi, seen the object of the world. So, to convey this very, very important point to us, this particular topic, it's just like the name of medicine, the pharmacology of medicine, dosage of medicine, functional ability of the medicine. How much ever all that we know, still the disease will not go until unless we consume that medicine. It enters. न गच्छति विना पानं व्याधिः औषधशब्दतः विना परोक्षानुभवं ब्रह्मशब्दैर्न मुच्यते. पानं विना व्याधि औषधशब्दतः न गच्छति. Without taking the medicine, only by uttering the name of medicine, the disease will go, not go. In the same way, vina aparokshanubhavam, without the indirect direct experience, Brahma Shabdaihi, by all the Shabdarashi of regarding Brahman, all 20, 100,000 Upanishads, thousand times we may study, Namuchate. Therefore, all the way, whatever we are studying, in all this study made intellectual concepts. All this study we have done through the vocal communication. So, these vocal communication, intellectual concepts, they are not Brahman. Brahman is beyond. Therefore, don't get stuck up by feeling satisfaction that now I understood Brahman and I can talk on Brahman. to not allow us to stop here, get stagnant here. The truth is spoken that yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Brahman is that where the Vani, Mana trying to reach it out. Vani to speak about it, Mana to feel an emotion or form a concept about it. Aprapya, without accomplishing for which they have gone, they come back. They just become failures. So therefore, any number of Shastra Jnanam studied, hmm, अविज्ञाते परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला विज्ञाते विपरे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला शब्दजालं महारण्यं चित्तभ्रमण कारणम् अतः प्रयत्नात् ज्ञातव्यं तत्त्वज्ञैः तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. So अतः प्रयत्नात् ज्ञातव्यं तत्त्वमात्मनः. So that Brahman is such a sublime subject. None of these upadhis functions can comprehend it. That was the whole discussion. It is not a vyavahara vastu and it is nirvishesha vastu. So when it is nirvishesha and vyavahara rahita, how can it be touched by Vani and Mana? That is exactly the Bhashyakara's Bhashya. That the Mana and Vani function in the fields of vyavahara and savishesha. Brahman is nirvishesha and nirvyavahara. Then how can the Vani Mana reach? Now, what then we have seen throughout the study of Upanishad, there are all the indicators for us to go deep in our contemplation, in which all the anatma tadatma is removed by the removal of the avidya through the obtaining of vidya. Thereafter, direct personal, that is me, that anubhuti comes. Even after the anubhuti comes, like all the millions of gurus use the same Upanishads to tell, yet concluded that the self cannot be told. Same way, we also will tell to the subsequent generations entire Upanishads, and the conclusion we have to say is Yato Vacho Nivartante only. Aprapya Manasa Saha. Therefore, transcend the outer worldly things by giving up through Vivek Vairagya, transcend the Upadhi, either by the Sakshi Bhava or whatever, then only the Anubhuti of Paramatma comes. Paramatma is not an object that can be described through the words of the mouth, nor conceptualized to the intellect, an idea, nor an emotion of the mind to be felt. So, this Upadhi Rahita, Upadhi Atita, to convey to us this Yatovacho Nivartante. So, yesterday we saw the two paragraphs. Let us browse through it once quickly. Ki yataha means yasmat. Means from that Brahman, Vani comes back, failing to describe it. So, what is that Brahman from whom the Vani comes back? Nirvikalvat, which is Nirvikalpa. There is no dichotomy in it. There is no Vikalpa in it as Ishvara Jiva, Ishvara Jiva, Ishvara Jagat, Jagat Jagat, Jagat Jiva, Jiva Ishvara. In so many ways, the Vikalpas, many nesses are not there in Brahman. निर्विकल्पात. निर्विकल्प में ही आप निर्विशेष भी डाल सकते, क्योंकि इन द विकल्प ओनली देयर विल बी विशेष. When something alternative comes, in that only specifications are specified to differentiate it from the other thing. So, nirvikalpat means nirvisheshat. That which is nirvikalpa means homogeneous. Therefore, no specification. Like a water. Plain water where the ripples, bubbles, etc. have not come. That is the nirvikalpa, therefore nirvishesha. When some disturbance comes in that water, immediately the nirvikalpata gone, vikalpa happens in the water. That vikalpa alone expresses as the vishesha, whether it is a ripple or bubble, etc. That can be spoken. Ki it's a wave and all. Parabrahma mein, there is no other thing which can create a vikalpa in it. Therefore, it will never have any Visheshata in it. Without this Visheshata, it cannot be described by words, nor it can be conceptualized by the Antakarana. As this is that. And what is said in this para is the Vani, whatever it speaks, you know, or Indriyas, whatever they say, it is conceptualized in the mind, and whatever the mind has conceived or understood, that it expresses through the Indriyas here mainly, the Vani. Therefore, they are friends, they go together. Therefore, both of them went together to measure the Brahman, to know the Brahman. Intellect went to know, and Vani went with it. Okay, once you know, you tell me, then I'll talk about it. Both of them came back. मन से वो भावना किया नहीं जा सकता, वो मन का वृत्ति नहीं. And what is Vijnanamaya Kosha doing? There we are through the intellectual inquiry, be attentive. The Vidya is gained. That Vidya is removing the Vidya. Only that much. Even the Vijnanamaya Kosha Prayasa effort we are doing. With all the efforts of deeply contemplating with the intellect on the truth, we are only removing the ignorance. We are not creating the truth. We are not bringing the truth. The truth, the self, the Brahman, is ever there as me, my own experience. Only the dirt is removed, the coloring is removed, the covering is removed even by the Vijnanamaya Kosha. That's why Vijnanamaya is not touched here. Manasa, he said. The mind with its whims and fancies cannot make its own idea and projection regarding the Brahma Tattva. Then how can the Vani work? Because Vani speaks what mind conceives. Both of them fail in knowing Brahman. So it's a very, very powerful thing. Remember, else what if this understanding is not understood, like the millions of people, we get only satisfied at the level of making opinions or the understandings only of the Brahman and go on trying about it and thinking that itself is everything. We miss out that Brahman which is beyond all this in our direct personal experience. Become यही फंस. That's how all the great philosophy knowers, Upanishad knowers, if they don't understand this, they find fulfillment only in conveying to others through their vocal mouths what they have understood about Brahman. They themselves have never touched Brahman. They are only at the Manavani level. They have not gone deep inside in experiencing Paramatma Tattva. Then only from the experience when it is spoken, it has its correct direct power on others. Either like experienced person speaks, then listeners also feel like experiencing. If only intellectually knowledge oriented person speaks, it only instigates in the people the idea of gaining knowledge intellectually, not experience. Like when I'm speaking with memory, it induces in you also a thought, यार memory हमको भी हो तो अच्छा रहता है. If I tell lot of examples, then you feel that with examples we must understand. If I tell logic, that so only what speaker conveys the listeners get. If the speaker is experiencing, then he will inspire them to go for experience. Understood? Therefore, even to help that so-called student of the Vedanta who studied, now he is an Acharya or speaker, for him also is a hint what matters, what counts is experience. In that way. So, yato yasmat, yasmat is nirvikalpat. So, these are all reminders of what we have studied so far about Brahma. So, Brahma में कोई स्वाभाविक विकल्प नहीं है, कल्पित विकल्प हो सकता है. Then in water, swabhavika vikalpa is not there. Water is one without second. Entire universe. The kalpita viveka, that it is samudra, it is cloud, it is a river, it is all waves, etc. They may be there for vyavahara. But that kalpita never really creates the duality in the tattva called as water. Therefore, the water is nirvikalpa, even if it is liquid, gaseous, solid states. Same way, Brahman is nirvikalpa. On him, even we have projected the million vikalpas of the names of forms of the world. Okay? All of them are the manifestation of the unmanifest Rupanama without causing even an iota of dent in the pure Brahman. Brahman is as he is always. So Nirvikalpat is this meaning. Then Yatokta Lakshanat Satyam. Satya means that which never changes, which is always the same. Then Jnapti, pure consciousness, which has never dichotomized into the Jnata Jnanam Gnayam through the Vritti. Then Anantam is which is not Parichinna by Desha Kala Vastu or any parameters. That Yatokta Lakshana Brahma, that Nirvikalpa Brahma, and that Advayat, that which is one only. Such things are not many. Like I have this Thula Sharira. No, this is not only one. There's so many have there in the world. Is it not? So too, I have the Indriya Shakti. Not only in me, the Indriyas are working. In you, and others also are there. In that way, this Nirvikalpa Brahman, the Yatokta Lakshana Brahman, is not many or two. It is Advaya. This is only one without second. Second nahi hai usme. Advayat. Then Ananda Atmanaha. See, it is not Ananda obtained from some conditioning like that of Brahma Deva, Indra Deva, Bruhaspati ityadi. Here, the self itself is Ananda Swarupa of this Brahman, of this Anandatmana, from this Brahman, which is Anandatma, from this Brahman, which is Advaya, from this Brahman, Yatokta Lakshana of Satyajnana Anantam, from this Brahman, which is Nirvikalpa, from that Vani and Mana return without illuminating it. That point, how Bhashyakara is writing, we are just studying. From that Brahman, Vachaha means Vani, means Abhidhanani, means explanations or the connotations or the names, Abhidhanani. Where do these Abhidhanani, the name function? They function in Dravya, Adi, Savikalpa Vastu Vishayani. The Brahman is not a Dravya and Brahman is not Savikalpa. So therefore द्रव्य को और सविकल्प को डिस्क्राइब करने वाला वाणी द्रव्यादि सविकल्प वस्तु विषयाणि वाचः और द स्पीचेस वस्तु सामान्य those don't reach on. Then remember vastu samanya. What vastu samanya? He Brahman is homogeneously undifferentiated way, same way it is permeating all the independent savishesha rupa nama of the world. So the chair and table are savishesha. Chair's shape is different, table's shape is different, their functions are different. But the Parabrahma which is there in both of them is Samanya. Vastu Samanya. विशेष है तो ही the words are used to describe. विशेष नहीं होने के कारण वस्तु सामान्य होने के कारण वाणी is returning. That's what is just telling step by step. So it's a very poetic way in a big, in a big, what to say, yeah, कवित्व रूप में भगवान writes his bhashya. Sometimes you can make you would have made it little simpler also, but it is his flow. It is meant for highly scholarly people. They should not underestimate him. Therefore, from him the flow comes like that. It's only one para without stop anywhere. Yataha yasmad nirvikalpat yadoktalakshanaad advayat anandatmanah vachaha avidanani dravyadi sa vikalpa vastu vishayani vastu samanyat nirvikalpe advaye api brahmani प्रयोक्तृभिः प्रकाशनाय प्रयुज्यमानानि अप्राप्य अप्रकाश एव निवर्तन्ते स्वसामर्थ्यात् दीयन्ते. There is no full stop anywhere. So first portion is understood from that Brahman. Luckily, from that Brahman, when it is said, which is that Brahman, the four words we learnt, Nirvikalpa, Yatokta Lakshana, Advaya and Anandatma. From him, Vachaha, Yato Vachaha Nivartante. Yata is explained, that is from Brahman. Vacha is explained, Avidanani. What is Vani does, that is said here, ki Dravya Adi Savikalpa Vastu Vishayani. That which is able to speak about Dravya Adi. Dravya in its modifications, etc. We told you. Then Savikalpa, which are having variety, multitude, which has got Visheshana in them. About that, Vishayani means which are functional in that field. That Vani. Then Vastu Samanya. Why it doesn't illuminate the Brahman? In the beginning only it is said Vastu Samanya. Because Brahman is not Dravya nor a Savikalpa. He is not as matter. It is the pure existence, which is not called, cannot be in matter. It is even beyond consciousness. How can you, even consciousness itself is not a matter. How do you call the existence as matter? So it is not a dravya and it is not having any vikalpa. Because of these two reasons, it is vastu samanya. Because of vastu samanya, remember, nirvikalpe advaya. Other things are dvaita yukta and savikalpa. On this nirvikalpe advaye, api brahmani, on brahman, prayoktrubi prakashananaya, prakashaya प्रकाशनाय प्रयुज्यमानानि. Is it not? प्रयोक्तृभिः हि प्रकाशनाय प्रयुज्यमानानि. Prayoktrubihi, the user of the words. Prakashanaya, to illuminate or tell about the Brahman. Prayujyamanani, even the words are employed exhaustively. Aprapya, without attaining that Brahma Tattva, means aprakashya, means without illuminating the Brahma Tattva, means without helping in explaining or describing the Brahma Tattva, eva nivartante, Vani comes back. Means what? So samarthyad hiyante, it just fools to be, proves to be, it just proves to be, it's a failure that it cannot illuminate the Brahman. So samarthyat hiyate means what? It just gets that failure utter, that I have such a capacity to describe so many dravya and vikalpa vastu. This dravya नहीं है और सविकल्प विकल्प रहित अद्वय को मैं इल्यूमिनेट नहीं कर पाया हूँ. With that bhava, the vani comes back. That is the meaning. It's a poetic way. In words you can't explain Brahman. No, aprapya. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya. It is understood. From that Brahman, the Vani comes back without explaining that Brahman. Because the Vani is implied in explaining Dravya Adi and Savikalpa. Brahman is not Dravya and is no Vikalpa. This is Advaya Nirvikalpa Vastu. So Vani returned. Then the second, last two words are there in the first line. Manasa Saha. Along with mind. So we saw yesterday, instead of telling both of them separately, Vani returns from the from Brahman, Mana returns from the Brahman. Saha word is used. Why the Saha used? Shankara Bhagavan is struggling to explain by telling that these two always go together, the Vani and Mana. Therefore, Saha word is used by Shruti Mata. So he struggles sometimes so that anyone, even after thousands of lives, when they study Upanishad with Bhashya, they should get the pakka complete understanding. They should not have half understanding or no misunderstanding. For the eternity, he has given Bhashya. Not that we only study. After even 10,000 years also, people will study Bhashya through Bhashya the Upanishad. There is no other way. For the correct, you can study without Bhashya, but only misunderstandings or half understandings will come. Not satisfactory. That is why Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badrayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande. Shankara and Keshava have given the Sutra, Shankaracharya and Vedavyasa given as the Bhashya. All Puranas ityadi are the Bhashya too. What Narayana Bhagavan said in short about the Paramatma. Here also what Bhagavan Shivaji told in Sutra Vakya, Bhagavan Adi Shankara gave in the Bhashya. So why the Saha word is used, Manasa Saha, it is here. Ki Manaha iti, first what is mind you understand. Manaha iti pratyaha. Here mind means thoughts. And what is thought? Vijnanam, a specified understanding. about something based on any of its specifications. It can be through the eyes of the colors and shapes, through the ears of the sounds and their variety, and through the nose, the smells, etc. So, whatever may be, the mind is a thought which has a specific knowledge, differentiated from the other things. Okay, manaha iti pratyaya, and it is a vishesha vijnanam, is a specified knowledge. And what is non-specific knowledge? That is gnapti, that is Brahma Swarupa already. Thought, what is thought? The mind, when an object comes in it, it takes the shape out. That shape is called as thought, which is illuminated by the consciousness. Into that mind, which is illuminate the consciousness, illuminating, the consciousness cannot be its object to enter into the womb of the thought. In the thought, there cannot be consciousness. In the thought contains an object, savishesha, then the consciousness illuminates it. That's how we become aware of the thoughts in us. So, tacha yatra avidhanam pravrittam, that mind where it works, wherever the avidhanam pravrittam, wherever the speech is able to reach, there, then api arthe tadarthe cha pravartate prakashanaya. Sorry, pravrittam atindriye api arthe tadarthe cha pravartate prakashanaya. So the prakashanaya pravartate, for illuminating the mind works in what? Into all those fields where the vani reaches, and also the four all fields where indriyas reaches, sometime even atindriya vishayas also. Yesterday we spoke to you, Swargadi, they're all atindriya lokas. About that, the mind can make an idea, an understanding. So, up to this, the functioning ability of the mind. Okay. Yatra cha vijnanam tatra vacha pravritti. So, where the mind works, wherever the vani goes, even atindriya vishayas. Okay. This is from this side set, where the mind functions means jaha vani hoti hai. From that side it is said, yatra cha vijnanam. And wherever there is vijnanam is there, tatra vacha pravrittihi. Because when you make a concept in the mind of that, we are able to explain it. We are able to talk about it to the people. तो जहाँ वाणी होती है वहाँ विज्ञान की जरूरत है. जब विज्ञान होता है वो वाणी के रूप में एक्सप्रेस हो सकता है. Wherever a specific thought is formed about something, we tell them about it. Like a smell came through the nose of a rose. So, what is that? A specified knowledge of a smelling of a smell of an object. Immediately the mouth speaks out. And others also, those who are familiar with the same language, they also make understanding themselves. Like when I say the rose smell, so I am smelling that rose, that concept is made in me, and I spoke out through the mouth. You are able to listen. So my experience made me speech. The sound reached you, gave you that experience with that understanding, the knowledge, the role, the concept of the rose and its smell, thought formed in the mind. Thus, the Vani cannot function without the mind. That fellow is called mental. And the mind has to express through the Vani only to communicate. Therefore, these two are having an inseparable relation in knowing the things of the world. So, both of them are employed by the Prayokta, the Vani and Mana, even to know Brahman, KNOW. Both of them went, they tried, they came back. The Vani is the Agni Devata, there in Kaina Upanishad. This Mana is Indra Devata. And there is another called Vayu also. They all have failed and came back. So, mana iti pratyaya vijnanam tacha yatra avidanam pravrittam atindriyepi arthe tadarte cha pravartate prakashanaya. Now, yatra vijnanam tatra vacha pravritti. Tasmat. Therefore, sa eva vang manasayoho abhidhana pratyayoho pravritti sarvatra. Therefore, this is why there is sarvatra always pravritti of both vak and manaha. Vak means abhidhana, the name. Manaha means the pratyaya, means thought. So the word and thought they go together, the speech and the mind go together. Clear? Now both of them don't reach Brahman. That is what is said. Tasmat, because of the above reason that they are together, the Saha word used. Saha is understood now. Aprapya manasa Saha. Now he is explaining the same thing. He Brahma Prakashanaya. For knowing Brahman, Prakashana means knowing, because the light makes us know the things. So Brahma Prakashanaya, to know about and to understand about Brahman, Sarvatha, Sarvatha means by all means, in any number of languages you use, any number of the texts we may quote, etc. Sarvatha Prayoktrubihi, Prayujyamanaha api. Means it's not that only in India that through the mind and speech we cannot talk about Brahman, but in America facilities are there different. They were there, they can talk. Or in this language it cannot be done. So maybe in another language Brahman can be spoken. To avoid no desha, no kala, no bhasha, or no other things can describe the Brahman. To avoid all that, here sarvatha the word is used. So Brahma Prakashnaya Sarvatha Prayoktrubihi Prayujyamanaha Abhi. Prayoktrubihi, the users. Prayujyamanaha Api, they used. What? The Vani and Mana together. For what purpose? Brahma Prakashnaya. To understand the Brahman. They understand only. They don't give the experience. Brahmana. Then Api Vachaha Yasmat Vinivartate. From where it comes back. Again the Brahman is explained in 6-7 words beautifully here. See the flow there? Yasmat apratyaya vishayat anamidheyat adrishyadi visheshanat. Three are told. Apratyayat means that which cannot be a concept of a mind, it cannot be a thought. Second, anabhideyat, which cannot again come in the daira of the words. Why? Adrishyadi visheshanatu. Adrishye, anatme, anirukte, anilayane. We are already told. When something is drishya, you can talk about it. When something is the stula, which we can talk about, then that which can be generally in the vyavahara spoken, about that we can explain. Then that which has got about to stay, about that through that reference of the stationing, we can talk about it. Okay, उस गांव में रहता है, उस जगह में रहता है, ये तो अदृश्य है, अस्थूल है, अनात्मा मीन्स अस्थूल, अदृश्य अनात्मे अनिरुक्ते अनिलेने. ऐसे ब्रह्म जो व्हाट यूज हियर अप्रत्यय विषय है, अनवधेय है. Therefore, toward that, every one of them, anywhere they do the prayoga of the Vani and Mana to reach, Saha eva manasa vijnanena. देखो, along with the Mana, which is the knower of the specific knowledge, the mind reverts. Now this मन का एक स्पेशल क्वालिटी बता रहे हैं कि मनसा विज्ञानेन सर्व प्रकाशन समर्थेन. The mind is samartha, has capacity to illuminate, conceptualize, make understandings about so many things and everything. Perhaps you can describe Brahmaloka, Brahmadeva, Vishnuloka, Vishnudeva, and Shivaloka, Shiva Bhagavan. Are Bapre, everything the mind can do the prakashana. That mind cannot do the prakashana of the Brahmavastu. सर्व प्रकाशन समर्थेन अपि मनसा सह निवर्तन्ते. All Vani comes back. So yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. What is the meaning of it? The Brahman is not an object. It is not an indriya vastu. Therefore, you cannot experience it outside. Therefore, by just having the intellectual understanding of Brahman, don't get satisfied by saying that I got Brahman. It is a direct, personal, subjective, aparoksha anubhuti. And when that anubhuti comes, then that person knows. Like electrical shock. It's a direct personal anubhuti. No mind can talk about it. No vani can talk about it. Even these vyavaharic experiences sometimes don't find words to express. How can the Brahman, which is so sublime, is a subject of mana and vani? मतलब इसका क्या हुआ? Vani and mana should not be given so valuable importance. They are some instruments having their own field of work. They are limited. Some place we value, not like Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister of India is value you give, but not beyond a particular thing that he's the only one in the whole cosmos. As a Prime Minister, 5 साल में एक बार आते जाते. How many have come? Millions have come and gone. And he's not president, and he's not governor, he's not chief minister. So many things are not in him. He's not a doctor, lawyer, engineer. क्या है थोड़ा एक है बस उतना ही है. Sometimes we exaggerate, but other time the fact when you look at it, it's nothing. So to mana, vani, and indriyas, what are their instruments to function in respective fields? Doesn't mean that they're so great that they can do the gustakya, even conceptualizing and describing the Brahman. इनसे नहीं होता हो. सो इनके द्वारा जो होता है वो जानकर डोंट गेट सेटिस्फाइड बाई सेइंग दैट आई गॉट ब्रह्मन नाउ. That means don't get deluded at the intellectual understanding, vocal ability of speaking level. ब्रह्म के बारे में समझकर, ब्रह्म के बारे में बोलकर आप satisfy मत होना मानकर कि ब्रह्म मिल गए. That's why I told you, the study groups of Gurudev's place. People study for 5-6 years, 2-3 Upanishads, and they think अब ब्रह्म बन गए और साइड पे रखो और let us continue our enjoying our paratha, lassi, जलेबी with दही. फुल बिजी इन दैट. ब्रह्म हाँ आ गया, बस दरवाजे तक है. मैंने कहा बाहर रहो, खाने के बाद दरवाजा खोलता हूँ. कहने से भी कहा हो गया, सारे उपनिषद पढ़ के रख दिया, सारे गुरुओं को सुन लिया. और हमारे गुरु लोग उतने मायर नहीं हैं, इसलिए दूसरों गुरुओं को भी सुनेंगे. जो जो गुरु नामक फेमस होते हैं इस दुनिया में, सबको सुनकर रख देंगे. अब एक ही बचा है, खुद गुरु, मैं गुरु बनूं. Do you understand how many people you can see around? Thank God we don't understand it completely. Therefore, there is no chance of ego to us. For those who understand, the biggest problem is they get contented there. They get stuck up there with the understanding. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Explained. Okay. Now the next one. Anandam brahmana vidwan na vibheti kutaschana. That Brahman who experiences it as his own self, beyond the Vani and Mana, after which na vibheti kutaschana, he has no fear from anything. Clear? That is the meaning of the main mantra. Of it, what Bhagavan Bhashyakara gave Bhashyam, let us see. Ki tam, be attentive. Brahmana anandam. That ananda of the Brahma. Now see, he is reminding us. Who will experience that Brahma ananda? We have forgotten it because we saw 1 week back. By the weekend, we are weekend, by no strengthened only. So everything is forgotten. He is reminding us. What is the sentence going on here? Tam Brahmana anandam vidwan. Of that Brahman, the bliss, the one who experiences. Brahman and his bliss, they are not two. The one who experiences that blissful Brahman, let us say. It is like that. And how do you experience it? The sadhanas which were repeated so exhaustively, the three of them. Tam Brahmana Anandam, which is that Shrotriyasya, Avrujinasya, Akamahatasya, Sarva Eshana Vinirmuktasya, Atma Bhutam, Vishaya Vishayi Sambandha Vinirmuktam, Swabhavikam, Nityam, Avibhaktam, Paramanandam, Brahmana Vidwan, Yathoktena Vidina, Na Viveti Kutaschana. अब अनिमित भाव. अब देखो क्या पोएट्री है, क्या ब्यूटी है, क्या इन वन फ्लो ओनली ही समराइज्ड एवरीथिंग एट द सेम टाइम, सॉ टू इट दैट नो चांस लेफ्ट फॉर एनी मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग और लेस अंडरस्टैंडिंग. पूरा समरी बताते हुए, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग को अवॉइड करते हुए, लेस अंडरस्टैंडिंग को अवॉइड करते हुए, कंप्लीट करेक्ट ऑथेंटिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग. दिस इज अ जीनियस ओनली अ भगवान आदिशंकर. We have to have his blessings to enjoy, even to chant it, even understand it. So the literal meaning is simple. The one who knows that Ananda Brahma, he has no fear from anything. It looks like so simple, but if we are asked, Why that Brahman is Ananda Swarupa? What is that Brahman? पूरा ब्लैंक हो जाता है, इसलिए इस भाष्य सो तम ब्रह्मण आनंद who is qualified to experience Shrotriyasya. So the Swadhyaya in our Yoga Darshanam also, in the Kriya Yoga is Shrotriyasya. Who has Shrotriya means one, who is with full faith in Shastra, studied under the Guru and came to the conviction about the Brahman being the only reality through the study, through the logic and all. There's no doubt about him about the acceptance of the Brahman revealed by the Shastra as the only truth or reality. ये नहीं आया ना, and the other thing other than Brahman, they are unreal. That second thing will not come. Without that comes, we will not have vairagya for those things. Without the vairagya, we will keep on involving in them. When our mind is fully involved in it, how can we come to meditate on the self? Exactly, this is a topic. Today or tomorrow, we are going to start in our Yoga Darshanam when we are going to study the Pancha Kleshas. वही वाला सब्जेक्ट यहाँ है. Therefore, Shrotriya. Who is a Shrotriya? Who is beyond a doubt convinced about the Brahman alone is reality. All other is functionally may be there, Vyavahar may it may be there, but not real at all. Is it not? Then only we don't go for it, no? If you take it as even iota as real, no? We take it as real. पूरा topic जो था which we discussed for 1 week to establish who is the Upasankramana Karta. This is what we struggled. That Upasankramana Karta is Brahman only, not the Jiva. क्यों किया था वो स्ट्रगल हमने पूरा इसी बात के लिए कि to avoid anything other than Brahman to be real. That is convinced through the Shastra Adhyayam. This is called a Shrotriya. So I say I am student, studied all the Upanishads, and still I give value and reality to the things. Means what? I only heard the Shastra, spoke about it. I have not become Shrotriya. I have not become Shrotriya. Shrotriya ko pakka Brahman alone is Satyam, everything is Mithya. That clarity, conviction should come beyond doubt. Like a person thoroughly who studied the medicine, for a good number of years and practiced it to a few years. No, to him there's no doubt regarding when he sees the tests that have come and results. He what infection or what bacteria caused what sort of infection. He has no doubt regarding because he thoroughly studied his Shrotriya medicines. You know? Which of the parasites or the things create which type of infections. They have different. The exact what the medicine also for it, antidote he knows it. Therefore, he is pakka in that. If he says tentatively मेरे को पता नहीं समझ में नहीं आया कौन सा enzymes are जो भी sorry the bacteria or the things have attacked which is the infection I have not understood, then he is not Shrotriya, then he can't give right prescription. He just remembers. When the tests come, then the test in the medical terminology, what is the variety of that virus which has attacked. So many varieties are in that. And in that virus, the combination is this. And to eliminate that, this particular medicine is already invented. It is in the tab or capsule form with its other complementing medicines. Some to avoid the side effects, some to remove that fever, etc. वो ऐड करके देते हैं. Then he, with knowledge, he prescribes is Shrotriya, not tentatively. So to Ayurveda, thoroughly studied the whole physiological functions and the physical body. They know only one thing: the body is made up only the plants. Therefore, for the repair of the body, the plants alone required. Therefore, with different plants which affect the body's which part in what way, they know it through the Daiva Krupa and Ayurveda Dhenam. So therefore, they give that type of Ayurvedic medicine. उनका अपना श्रोत्रिय तो है. So if you and I are the Shrotriyas, means are the students of the Vedanta, how we should never have doubt that Brahman alone is real, Jagat is not. Now the contrast, Jagat is seen with all Upanis, Brahman is not seen. Yet the unseen Brahman is real, not the seen Jagat, just like the unseen atom is real, not the seen world for the physicist, the one who has studied physics. He cannot see atom, but he knows atom is reality, not these things, because they're all formed by the combination of atoms only. Remove the atoms from the wall will not be there. You see the wall, not atoms. But still, atom is reality, not the wall. If he knows it, he is a Shrotriya regarding physics. In the same way, if you know the Vedanta, Brahman alone must be reality. Everything else is not real. If that conviction has not come, means our listening was not complete, or we have not followed it up with our mananan chintanam, or we are still biased with the attachments to the world, therefore we don't want to give it up. Like we know some people in our life give us so misery, and yet some attachment we have, therefore we are not able to kick them out. Is it not? That nonsense, if you can drop it, it's out. Everything is gone in a moment. In the same way, with the world, we have the attachments. It is a sign that if you have not taken it as unreal or mithya, फिर भी मजा आ रहा है जगत में, इसलिए विवेक वैराग की जरूरत है. Then only when you study Shastra, what Shastra says that on the reality the world is projected, it is not real, we are able to easily digest and accept. Otherwise, understanding हो रहा है दिमाग में, acceptance नहीं हो रहा, because I have still मजा in the world. And that is from millions of lives, those vasanas are so strong, they doesn't allow us to take it otherwise. The Vishaya Vastus give me Sukha. From this idea to come out is so impossible. That much we have made a slave of ourselves to them. That is why it takes so many lives to get into this Vedantic sadhana. But without there is no moksha. Therefore, even if it is achieved after 100 lives, we have to start from now. So the Shrotriya is explained. Shrotriyasya, second one, therefore only the Avrujinasya. He is Avrujina. A Shrotriya will never do any Vrujina or the Papa. That which is not sanctioned by the Shastra, prohibited by the Shastra. Apapataha. Therefore, Akamatasya, the one who is not hit by the Kamana. Shrotriya होने के कारण everything is Brahman, nothing other than it, and I am that Brahman intellectually. Therefore, he is not hit by any Kamana. When there is no Kamana, why will you do have any Papahata? Now, if you are very subtle in our understanding, every karma is a papa because it is born from the desire. Every thought is a desire because in the thought there is no Brahman. Brahman is beyond it. Therefore, not knowing Brahman is the cause of the thought. Thought is the cause of the desire. Desire is the cause of action. Action is the cause of sin. Sin is the cause of the result of it of bandhana called as Janma Marana. As many times we can contemplate on this and catch the essence, so better and good for us as early as possible. So that Brahman which is experienced by the one who is Shrotriya, the one who is Akamahataha, the one who is Abrujinaha. That Brahman, okay, Brahmananda, tam Brahmana Anandam, Shrotriyasya, Abrujinasya, Akamatasya. Therefore, Sarva Eshana Vinirumuktasya. This the Eshana wala shabd in other Upanishads they are used. Sarva Eshana Vinirmukta. Therefore, there is no Loka Eshana in him. There is no Putra Eshana in him. There is no Vitta Eshana in him. So the Loka Eshana is going to different worlds. Putra Eshana is being happy with family here. Further, Vitta Eshana is interest in the objects of the money, etc. ये तीनों interconnected होते हैं, है ना. वित्त ऐषणा पुत्र एंड लोक. First we have Vitta Eshana. Vitta means all securities and all wealths. With that Putra Eshana, you want to be happy. Putra Eshana is a hint for this worldly happiness. Loka Eshana is the hint for the other worldly happiness. Vitta is all sources which are required for having these two. When you have the Vitta, you do Yajna Agadi, you go to the Uttama Loka. When you have Vitta, then you marry, you get children, you love the children, they love you, you enjoy. Interconnected. So ये तीनों लोक ऐषणाओं का परे गिरा चुका है. He called as सर्व ऐषणा विनिर्मुक्तस्य. By saying all these words, that Brahmananda is experienced by these sadhaka is hinted here. Then next one is what? Atma Bhutam. It is not a Vishayam. It is not an object. Other than me is that Brahmananda. It is Atma Bhutam means I am that Ananda. Atma Bhutam. Next one is what? Very good. Vishaya Vishayi Sambandha Vinirmuktam. Like the Brahmadevas Ananda, it is not the Vishaya reflected Ananda. Ki, I am Vishayi and it is Vishaya. I am experiencer, it is experiencer. This duality is not there in it. Vinirmuktam, finally, Swabhavikam. Swabhavikam is my own Swabhava. I am Ananda Swarupa, not that I am somebody other than Ananda and I need to get the Ananda. ऐसा नहीं होता. I am the Ananda Swarupa. Swabhavikam Satyam, Nityam, which is eternal. Then Avibhaktam, which is never made into parts, means such things are not more than one. It is one without second. Therefore, it is called Paramanandam Brahmanaha. Of this Brahman, Paramananda, Vidwan, the one who knows. And how to know? Yathoktena Vidina. Yathokta Vidhi means there is no other way. What is the Yathokta Vidhi? To precisely say, first getting convinced that Brahmavid apnoti param. Second step is the Lakshana of the Brahman, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Third is discovering that Brahman in the Yoveda Nitam Guhaya. Fourth, for the sake of that, traveling to the Nitam Guha from where we are. Where we are in the objective world. Objective world of Dehendriya, the Upadhi. Therefore, by explaining the causes of the Upadhi to be Akasha Ityadi, and for Akasha the cause is Brahman, slowly through the Panchakosha Viveka, we are taken into our heart. Into the Gufa. Where are we taken into the heart? Where this Jnata, Drashta, Manta, Shrota is there. From that Manta, Jnata, Shrota, instead of becoming objective about what is the object of Mananam, Shravanam, Jnanam, if you focus on who is this Jnata, Manta, Shrota, then we enter into cave of the heart. Then we'll know there are not four people as Jnata, Manta, Shrota, Vijnata, is only one. And that one is the Chidabhasa Yukta Aham. Then that Aham is a Vritti, is a matter. Then what is the Chidabhasa? Without the matter, the Aham Vritti, it is Shuddha Chit only. And that Chit is the one which is Sat there. And which is beyond any Upadhis again, already transcend kiya sab Upadhiyon ko. In this way, Yathokta Prakarana means in this way, who knows? The one who knows. What is the result for him? Yathoktena vidina yaha vidvan sadha na vibheti kutaschana. He will never be afraid of any reason, kutaschana, because nimitta bhavatu. Because for having a fear, there should be an inner and outer reason. There is nothing other than me, then how can there be a bhaya? By this, the abhaya pratishtha is the ultimate moksha anubhuti that is hinted. देखो कहीं इसको आनंद कहते हैं, कहीं जप्ति बोलते हैं, कहीं शुद्ध सत्ता बोलते हैं. यहाँ इट इज कॉल्ड एज द अभय प्रतिष्ठा. दिस उपनिषद इज हाइलाइटिंग ऑन अभय प्रतिष्ठा. Its uniqueness. Establishing in fearlessness is said to be the realization or liberation. And fearlessness can be only when there is no dvaya. Therefore, in that advaita is included. Fearlessness can be there only when there is bliss. Therefore, ananda included. Fearlessness is there in the pure conscious knowledge, then only the fearlessness. So, सारे इसमें आ जाते हैं. Only for the sake of telling in a unique way the Abhaya Pratishtha, he said. Otherwise, this Abhaya Pratishtha, that Brahma, Ananda Swarupa, or the Gnapti Swarupa, or the Ananta, or Nirvikalpa, Shabd kuch bhi use karo. They're all talking about one Mukta Anubhuti only. Okay. Now this Navibheti Kutaschana Nimitta Bhavat is little bit explained to us. थोड़ा सा हमको उसका भी आनंद लेना चाहिए। नहीं तस्मात् विदुषः अन्यत् वस्तु अंतरम अस्ति भिन्नम यतः बिभेति। And the experience level of the Brahman, there's no other thing or being other than this himself to that Brahmanubhava Vyakti. Therefore, there's no thing for fear. There is nothing other than him to be afraid of. नहीं तस्मात् वस्तु अनंतरम अन्यद वस्तु अंतरम अस्ति विदुषः भिन्नम यतः विभेति। इसके अलावा और कुछ है ही नहीं, तो therefore he will not have fear. Now remember, when we talk about this abhinnatva, the abhinnatva is the tattva drushti se. Don't immediately imagine that everything is bulldozed and nothing is remaining of the world of names forms. यार वो हो या ना हो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता when the truth is recognized. Never get conditioned when these subtle sublime things are explained. What is the conditioning here? As we are conditioned in the beginning with Rupa Nama, because of which we were not able to see Brahman. Now again the opposite type of conditioning comes, means when the Brahman is to be seen, our entire Rupa Nama has to be bulldozed. देखो जब रूप नाम था तब भी ब्रह्मन जैसा का वैसा है। अब जब ब्रह्म को जान ली तो रूप नाम हो या ना हो फर्क नहीं पड़ता। Therefore, our drushti should be not on this manifested, our drushti on the substratum. Therefore, from the substratum standpoint, there is nothing other than him. Like our own body. I see my leg is different, my hand is different, my mouth is different, my ears are different. There's no doubt at all, they're all different parts, different names, different functions. And yet, is there any fear of any one part to the other part? From the one part to other, है क्या कोई? नभी में ही थी वही. In and through what is one thing permeating, I am that. In the same way, in and through the entire world of Rupa Nama, that one substratum which is permeating, when that is discovered, that's all. After that, that can express in many forms, but it will not be. So the differences will be there, but the substratum being one, the differentiations will not be there. Differentiations are the ones which create the fears or the desires, etc. When one without second is there, neither there can be kamana nor there can be bhaya. By the way, keep that point. Otherwise, what will happen? So when I discover Brahman, then the whole world will be bulldozed. Like yesterday, when Markandeya Rishiji asked, "Show me the Maya." You understood that? Luckily for you all those who came yesterday, वो ये मिला के समझो तो बात पूरा समझ आता है. Please remember, Bhagavan has not shown pralaya to Markandeya Rishi. Bhagavan has shown Maya, in which there was an appearance of pralaya and the clear appearance of creation. Both Srushti and Sthiti and Laya, all the three are part of Maya. What is the meaning of it? All the three were not there. Means what? As much the real or the Jagat appearing to be real was, the Pralaya was also appearing to be real. As much the Pralaya was unreal, so too the Jagat also unreal. This is what is Maya. To convey that, no, you wanted to know that. You will see today that he goes into the mouth of God. He sees the whole world as it's normal. Again, he's thrown out. Then he sees Krishna Bhagavan in that pattal. And by the time he goes, the Lord, he disappears. The ocean disappears. Pralaya disappears. He is back in the same place where he had all this Maya Anubhuti. So in me, the substratum, through the Maya, the Rupa Nama are projected, maintained, and dissolved. As much projection is Maya, so much rejection is Maya. So don't get caught up in rejection also. Because if you try to reject, it means you have accepted it as real. This is the highest state of meditation. That's the meaning of Nadveshti Sampravruttani Nanivruttani Kankshati. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. This is a very highest wisdom. That will come in our Panchaklesha discussion also in our Yoga Darshanam. In the highest level of Vedanta or even Yoga, we don't do anything with our Chitta, because the moment you try to do, you are given value, importance to it. Once you give importance, it will not go. Focus on Brahman, automatically everything goes away. Or even if they remain only as Brahman. So there is no Dvaita there. Therefore, as we said, differences will be there in the expression, but differentiation are not there because what is expressing is one. That is what you have to understand is there is no bhinnam yata viveti. Then avidya yada antaram kurute udaram tata tasyam bhavati iti uktam avidya karyasya taimirika tushi dvidya chandravata nashat bhayanimitasya navivedi gotashniti yudyate. So why there is no fearlessness in that for that person who has discovered this Brahma Ananda with all the processes, with all the lakshanas as explained, Bhashyakara beautifully touches it, that we will see. Thereafter, two more sentences are there. With this ninth Anuvakam as well as the Dvitiya Brahmananda Valli concludes. We enter into Bhrugu Valli in day or two. Let us invoke God's grace. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. Om Shri Vedavyasa Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarashibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Namo Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Thanks, friends. The more we listen and give a time for contemplation, the clarity, the depth starts coming to us. Sincerity, regularity is the key, along with devotion, Sharanagati to Guru Bhagwan Shastra.